Hey everyone, thank you for watching and listening to Talking Cameras. This is episode number 2. We're very excited to be here, and we thank you if you watched the first episode and came back for the second one. It's very important to us. Today's guest is, again, a close friend, somebody that we've worked with so many times in the industry, whether it be weddings or corporates. He's a great MC. He works for Best Day Ever Event Group, and trust me, they give you the best day ever. Nick Edwards, thank you for coming, man. We appreciate you being here.
Thank you, bud. I appreciate you asking me to be here. I've been looking so forward to doing your podcast. So it's an honor to actually be here.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, we've been talking about it for a while since we started. It's busy times and everything, which thankfully we are busy, and that's a good thing. But again, thank you for coming. And, we have a lot to talk about, I feel.
Yeah, I feel like there's going to be some things that get off our chest, and hopefully, I'm not sure how long your podcast is, but hopefully we can get it all in.
Yeah, I mean, it just depends. We haven't, this is I like to call this friendly conversations. That's why it's the Talking Cameras.
I feel like it's episode 2, so it should be 2 hours.
Yeah, right? I mean, the first one was 45 minutes, and that was me and my wife.
Right.
And we like to talk a lot, but I feel like I said earlier, you and I can talk a lot ourselves about a lot of things.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, a lot of people found out that you were going to be on the podcast, and they're like, to be a fly on that wall.
I heard that in passing in a couple different conversations within the past week. They said, "Have you done Andres' podcast yet?" And I said, "No, we're getting ready to do it." And they're like, "Man, if we could be there for that one." I said, "We'll tune in. You'll be able to see it."
Yeah. Well, one of the things I look forward to on this podcast is that, and any podcast that I do, is that my goal is to show us as who we are, right? Like, who we are outside of that black and black, even though I'm wearing a black shirt and you're wearing a black shirt, it's like the uniform, but show people what we're about, what we look like outside of that industry, and, how we communicate and handle ourselves outside of that, because I feel like that's very important.
Yeah, absolutely. Trying to focus on the fact that even though we're professional in the industry that we work in, we are also real people.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. Very real.
We're
people.
We're very real people,
exactly.
Real feelings. We have our own opinions on things. Right. Real problems.
We have debt. We own our homes. Like, we just are good at what we do.
Right.
Exactly. So tell us a little bit about how you got started in the wedding industry, corporate events, emceeing, whatever you used to do.
Okay. So it's been some while. It's been some time now. I want to say that I've been in the event industry, weddings more per se, since right around 2007, 2008. I actually started with working for a professional photographer that was here on the Treasure Coast.
Yeah, we've talked about that in the past.
So I started out doing sales in their studio, and then I transitioned to like a second shooter for their photography business for weddings and stuff like that. Learned a lot. They had a couple health issues in the family, so their lead videographer went down for a little bit, so I kind of transitioned into doing that for weddings as well.
Competition. I didn't know that, actually, so.
And then once the business kind of left this area, I went and did something else. I was invited to do the wedding for one of my cousins, and then I met some of the guests there. We all went to school together because it was one of those types of weddings.
A fun wedding.
A very fun wedding. Right. My very first wedding. God, when I think about the pictures that came back from that wedding and this, ooh, boy. Anyway, one of the guests at the wedding name dropped me to a DJ company here on the Treasure Coast. Okay. And that's how I transitioned from there to there. They said, "Hey, listen, you need to call my friend Nick. He is a really good people person. He's a party person. I know you're looking for people for your DJ company. Go ahead and give him a call." And that's how I got started in the DJ business.
I think that's how we met. Yeah, I think that's actually one of the events. I can't tell you where. I don't remember. I think it was in Vero. I want to think that it was the Vero Beach Hotel and Spa.
Okay.
But that was my first or third wedding. It wasn't my first, actually. It was my third wedding, now that I think about it.
Right.
But point is, ever since then, you now I guess a good point to make is when you said you've been in the industry since 2007, and that that's a long time ago. I'm not calling you old or anything, but
I'm starting to get the grace.
Yeah, no, I mean,
I'm starting to get the grace.
But what do you think of the wedding? I mean, listen, we live in Port St. Lucie, right? Port St. Lucie 20 years ago was nothing.
Right.
I moved here 15 years ago, and there was nothing here. And I moved here from Chicago.
Right.
Like, I didn't like it.
Port St. Lucie was a place when I was born and raised in Martin County.
Gotcha.
So I moved to Port St. Lucie only because I couldn't afford to purchase a home in Martin County at the time that I purchased my home up here.
Okay.
But we used to hang out up in Port St. Lucie back in the day when I lived in Martin County. So growing up, and there was nothing here. Nothing out on any roads. I mean, we used to take our cars out on the roads and just drag up and down the dirt roads that are, par and, all the area out there that's developed now.
They still do that on Green River, actually. I hear them all the time from here. Sorry, guys. I mean, listen, you guys, it's fun.
Right.
So, but what was the industry like back then? Like, whatever you were shooting, whether it be weddings, corporate, because like, again, no small businesses, Port St. Lucie wasn't the Treasure Coast wasn't the place to vacation or come do a destination wedding.
Right.
So what was it like?
I think as going back to my early days, again, not saying that I'm old, going back to my early days when the industry started, or when I started in the industry, photography and videography were completely different than they are today. Obviously, with the
100%.
advancement of technology and stuff like that, you didn't see a drone back in my day.
No.
When I first started, there was no such thing, right?
If you saw one, you better run back
Right,
then.
exactly, because it was probably something military grade,
Correct,
and they were going to drop something on you, and you never knew what was going to happen. But the amount of time and work, I think, that goes into photography and videography, I don't think that's changed. I think you guys still work as hard as you do now to produce videos and images and stuff like that for couples as hard as they did back then. It was just more steps involved back then because technology, of course, hadn't advanced as far as it is now.
The big cameras on the side.
I held one of those.
I bet, man.
I held one of those.
My dad had one of those.
I held one with a VHS.
Yeah.
And I held one with the mini DVs.
So yeah, no, based on what you're saying, it's I don't think the work was ever going to change, the workload or anything. Obviously, yeah, like you said, it back then, like the technology, like the computers.
Yeah,
I mean,
correct.
like you didn't have fast computers or anything to do things. So I can't imagine what editing a picture back then was,
right?
Or let alone what I do, edit videos.
Correct.
So and yeah, I do agree. All photographers. All good, the good ones, the bad ones, whatever it is, everybody puts a lot of time and effort to their product.
Right.
But like you said, something that made me laugh was the first set of pictures that you sent back.
Oh,
and, yeah. And I look at my first video and it's like gross.
Right.
Like, I remember I did a video on a
but
house.
for that time, it was amazing.
8 years. I mean, when I did it, I was like, oh, this is the best thing ever.
Exactly.
Like,
it doesn't get any better than this. Yeah.
And now it's like, wow. I can't believe my parents let me make that video. Because that's what it was. But yeah, so that's good to know, man. I always like listening onto wedding trends or how industries have changed throughout the years because it's good to know. It's good to stay informed, whether it be DJs, weddings, photographers, and there's so many things we can talk about on that.
Right.
So as many of you know, we do a lot of weddings. That's how our name got came up in the business and everything. And then we transitioned to commercial, which is what we do a lot of now. We still do weddings and we love doing weddings. And, when the right people come and they value the work and everything and it's all about connection, right? I feel like weddings are about connections and a lot about budgets too, of course, with a lot of people, the price matters more than that connection.
Right.
But tell me about Best Day Ever. How does Best Day Ever, how did that come around? How did that come up? Because you guys are great, man. Like I've worked.
Thank you, bud.
We've traveled together to the Keys, to, Florida, all this stuff. And it's always a great time.
Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate it. So Best Day Ever came around, myself and my business partner. We both worked for at the same time. I was with them a little bit longer, another DJ company. I was with them a little bit longer. He got hired on. We started going out on weddings together, put on weddings together by the owners of that company, and found that we just worked really well. We clicked.
Yeah.
So that business, again, I happen to get into businesses that either start to die out or move away. So that business moved away from this area, and I got with him, and I was like, we already do this. Like, it's not rocket science.
Yeah.
Let's just put it together and just, find a business name and get a business license and do all the things that it does to become a business, and let's go out and rock some parties. So
what was the first wedding like? Like, booking that wedding, just the process of it.
So the very first wedding we did was February 7th of 2020. It was for Jessica and Freddie Rodriguez.
Okay.
It was at in Riverside Park. And it was a really, really smooth process. Not saying that it should be all the time, but it was a really smooth process. And
Sometimes it isn't.
I want to say it was because I love people.
Sure.
I love people. I love to talk. I love to hear myself. I can't believe that I'm actually getting to talk into a professional mic and look into a professional camera because I love to hear the sound of my own voice.
Sure.
So when I met this couple for the first time, I don't remember how they got in touch with us because both of us were still kind of attached to the other company. We
Sure.
still had weddings to do for them while we were opening up our own business.
Sure.
But it was a great experience. It was easy. The bride and groom were
I
cool, nonchalant, just, they just wanted to have a good time. So
Good.
that was the first one.
And you guys are good at that.
Yeah. It was a good time.
About the name, I mean, who came? I mean, it's just the greatest name, you're right? Especially in our industry, right? Because it's
Right.
like it's hard not to tell a prospect or a client or a wedding couple that already booked you. It's like, hey, we're gonna give you the best day ever because it's like what we're all about. Like like it's not just about filming or just about DJing. It's about the experience and
Right.
making sure you're happy on your day.
So the name came about, and I want to say that it was my idea, but it wasn't. I want to say that it was JD's idea, but it wasn't. I was actually working another wedding for another company. I was hired by another company to work another wedding, and one of the florists that we were there with, she had a wooden sign that was on a table as the guest walked into the reception, and it said "Best Day Ever." And I looked at that, and I happened to be on the phone with her at some point, and she was like, "Why don't you just use that as a business name?" And I said, "You know what? That makes perfect sense. Because what do you hear couples and clients say after their wedding? Oh my God, it was the best day ever."
Yeah,
And that was it.
exactly.
That's how it was born.
Exactly. I mean, that's what you want. Like, right. And the way I think of it, like, obviously your experiences with the couple or, any client is different than what mine would be.
Right.
Right. There's a little bit more planning in my process. Not that in yours there isn't, because I've seen the sheets that people have to fill out for a wedding for a DJ. But it's about at the end of that event or wedding or whatever it be. I had the best day ever. So I always from the first time that your company came up and I realized it was you guys, I was like, wow, that's a perfect name.
And it makes sense.
It
it's
does.
easy to remember.
Yeah.
I mean, we had to shorten it down. We have a little, it's BDE event group. Our email name is really, really long, but it really makes sense when somebody goes to refer us out, regardless whether it be a past couple or a vendor or a venue. Oh, best day ever.
Correct.
Right.
Correct. And I think this is a question in regards to best day ever. We talk about it for clients and couples and everything, and that's our goal, right?
Right.
But what's the best day ever at a wedding? Let's talk about a wedding in this case.
Okay.
For you, ideally, and we've had them. That's the thing. We've had them so many times with the specific vendors that we work with. Shout out to Lindsay. Lindsay's going to be our next guest. She is a great wedding planner.
Yeah, absolutely.
She there's never any issues. Not only because of how she plans, but because when she gets us all together, we just all know our vibe.
Right.
So what is the best day ever for you?
So I think when I think about best day ever, obviously the first thing that I think about is what can I do for my couples? What can I do for my client, right? How can I make this day, this one day, the best day ever? Now, there's not a lot that is very forgiving on the entertainment side.
Right.
We have exactly one opportunity to get everything right.
All of us do.
You know what I'm saying? Well, I'm saying as far as music goes.
Oh yeah.
Because there's no editing that.
Yeah, that's true.
We can't go back and take a song out or stop playing a song. There's no edit, there's no post.
Play Tupac for the first Mother's Day.
But when you get together,
that hasn't happened.
Not yet. Not yet. When you get together with, venues that you work at often, and you get together with vendors that you work with often, that you have a good connection with, how they work, what they expect, everything just kind of flows. So you can really tie down best day ever to it, not just what we deliver for our clients, but what we also try to deliver for the vendors that we work with as well. We want you guys to have the best time ever, best day ever while you're working at this event with this couple for us.
Correct.
It's one of those things.
Yeah, I mean, my best day ever, and like I said, it's I talk about it freely because it's happened so many times. Now, there has been the worst days ever.
Right.
Not for the couples, because it will never be that for the couples.
Correct. They'll never know.
Correct.
They'll never know.
Sometimes, and a lot of the couples I've stayed friends with, right, we're Facebook friends, and I'm not saying we go out to dinner and all these things, but, you know, they know who my family is. They have kids, all these things. And
I want to say more of my Facebook friends are couples, past couples,
yeah,
than actual people that I know.
I have even
or
had
people that I grew
like
up with.
people that have inquired and ended up ghosting me.
Yeah, I have a plan
How's
for
that?
my own wedding. It's gonna be the best day ever if I ever get married. My thought process was, well, the very first thing I'm going to do is go to Facebook and I'm going to invite all of my couples that have
How
been.
awesome would that be?
How awesome would that
How
be?
awesome would that be? Yes.
They wouldn't know anybody. They wouldn't know anybody, but there would all be wives, all be grooms, and they would all have the common denominator of me. You know what I'm saying?
Well, didn't you just tell me that you're going to be a guest at a wedding?
I am.
Correct.
Next Saturday.
Let me tell you something real quick before you tell
I don't
me
know
how
what to do.
Exactly, right? Like, what do you do? So I've been guest at weddings that I filmed, and you know, they're close friends of mine and everything, and amazing weddings. I love all of you. If you're listening, like, you know, it's fun time. But like, you know, I'll leave my crew working and I'll go have a good time, and then I'm like, what do I do?
What you're doing right now? You see how quiet it got?
Yeah, what do I do? Like you know,
twiddling our
I
thumbs.
know what I'll go drink. Like, you know, and I'll go dance and like do what I see people doing, you know, take your shirts off. No, I don't do that.
Right.
But,
Yeah. Twist it around.
How
your head.
excited are you, honestly? Like,
So I want to say that I've only been to one other wedding, and it was before I owned an entertainment company.
different.
Completely different.
Completely different.
So this wedding here, we were originally booked on that date. That's why we couldn't do the wedding. And then I saw something briefly. We lost the date somehow, and then I saw the bride on Facebook, and I actually played tennis with her. She was my doubles partner for a long time in the leagues that I play in. And I asked her, I said, you know, how come I didn't get an invite? And she said, well, I thought you were busy. And I'm like, no, we're not busy. And she's like, well, come to my wedding. And I'm like, wait, maybe I bit off more than I can chew because I don't know what I'm going to do at your wedding. How am I going to stop myself from trying to work and just being there in the moment for the bride? You know?
Well, that's one of the things that I run into, especially at the weddings that I'm filming and then I go be a guest at. I trust my crew. I trust my guys. You've worked with them.
Yeah.
But I always find myself going and checking
Right.
to see, because, you know, I care about what I do.
Right,
Like,
right.
Like, you know, and it's not about reputation or anything, but I want to make sure that it's getting done.
Right.
At least the way that I expect it to be done, I guess.
Yeah.
And I don't think that that's wrong in any way. And my guys know I take care of them.
It's not wrong. It's not wrong to expect you out of people that work for you or represent you.
Correct.
Are you going to get it? No.
Not all the time.
Nobody's going to be you.
No, not all the time, but I build that trust with my guys.
Right.
You know, the specific guys that work with me where I know now, a couple years down the road now, that I can send them to do their thing and know that it's going to get done.
It's going to be fine. Yeah.
You know, at first it was hard. When I first started, it took me a while. I filmed weddings by myself for a while. Like, you know, well, Megan would come with me and everything,
Right.
but there were times that, like, you know, we just couldn't do it, and I go by myself, and filming a wedding by myself was horrendous.
I can only imagine.
Horrendous. It's like, you know, for the people that do that, you're awesome.
Big props to
Big
you.
props to you. And like, I don't know how, you know, carrying tripods, especially like, I think at ceremony ending when there's so much happening and there is 3 tripods, a gimbal, an
Right.
audio receiver,
Right.
and I'm the only person.
When there's
carrying
just
that.
so much equipment involved.
Yeah, it's just, you know, you're only, I get help from people and everything here and there, but I'm not letting anybody carry my cameras.
I feel the same way when I think about DJs and MCs. Now there are companies that just send out one person.
Sure.
You get a DJ and an MC.
Yes.
With us, obviously, we bring out 2 people.
Sure.
I try to eliminate the fact that if something goes wrong, where is the backup?
Correct.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
if somebody
yeah,
has to go to the bathroom real quick and can't press play on your song,
Yeah.
I need somebody there that can do stuff like that.
Call a guest.
Yeah. Come hit this button.
Oh, man.
No, I have nobody at that wedding. Nobody.
What do you mean?
It's nobody from my company. I don't know
Gotcha.
any of the vendors that she has.
Where is it?
It's at the barn.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually working there in a couple weeks for a birthday party.
Yeah, it's at the barn. And like I said, I just want to go and I want to be entertained.
So staying on the trend of you know, the wedding industry, even commercial industry comes into this, because vendors that do photo, they don't just do weddings, even though I do know some that do just weddings and stuff. But I like to think that most of the vendors I know are all around, right?
Right,
It's not just
multiple,
weddings or anything. I attribute that, and I like to think that you, me, some of our close group of friends are some of the better known vendors in this area. And I'm not being cocky by any means. I'm
Right.
not trying to like say anything. I think the quality differentiates us, the service differentiates us, and I remember a wedding show that used to be done at the Hutchinson Shores. It was called the Wedding Showcase, and you worked it.
Oh yeah, the
I remember
wishful,
'cause you were the
wishful
guy.
wedding
Yes.
showcase. Yeah.
You were the guy on the stage hyping everybody up.
Right.
You know, Roxanne was a model and one of those. I
Yep.
remember all these kind of things. So a lot of people we met at that. But I attribute everything that we are now and why people refer us not only because of our quality, it's because of the people we are and the relationships we made back then.
Okay.
So what's your thoughts on that?
I want to say that a lot of the times, or not a lot of the times, but I want to say back in the day when that type of thing was going on and we were all working showcases, it was really right around the beginning of all of our careers.
It
right?
was fun, man.
It was fun. It was a lot of fun. We were getting into the business. We were getting into the industry. We were getting to know people. We were getting work. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh, like this is really happening. Like this is what I want to do. This is happening. And then the relationships that we built at that time, you know, when I met you and when I met some of the photographers and cake and florists and stuff like that, I want to say that I had a little insider information because I had before I started to DJ, I had already been in the industry for like 6 or 7 years prior to that. So all these people I already knew. You know what I'm saying? But when I stepped out on my own, it was great that I had already built those relationships with those people. Even though I was working for other companies, they were like, well, you know, I want to refer Nick. I want to refer Nick. I want to refer Nick. So, you know, building those relationships with the vendors and the venues that we work at now over the course of the past couple years has been a great advantage for us, not only being able to consistently get work and consistently deliver excellence, but it's also allowed us to become friends over that time and not just vendors. You know what I'm saying? You're not just a videographer to me. You're a friend to me. Like I can call you out. Like we said, we want people to know we're real people. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I need my yard mode. I need to call Andres. He probably doesn't really cut grass. I just said that because I cut grass. So if he needed his yard mode, I would come over and cut his yard.
No, I don't cut grass. It's not my thing. I make videos. I don't cut grass.
It's one of those things that, you know, if it's something that I need outside of, hey, Andres, where are you going to position your camera while we're doing first things?
Correct.
You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
Like when you had your birthday party.
Yeah.
I was a guest at your birthday party. I wasn't the DJ at your birthday party, even though you knew we did that. I was a guest at your birthday party. Like we're friends, you know? You know, when you build the relationships with the vendors that you work with, not only does it make the work less like work.
Correct.
You know, because you're having fun.
Yeah, exactly.
You're out there having the best day ever.
Yeah.
I'm gonna name drop that this whole episode. I'm just gonna.
Yeah, no, go ahead. I mean, that's
plug the
that's
whole
what
time.
we're here
best
for.
day ever.
Best day ever. I mean, and again, that's why it goes back to why it's such a great name. It's like you're not the only, and people say it like inadvertently, like, you know, it's like I want to have the best day ever.
Right.
And imagine if they Google that.
Yeah.
Right. Like, what's gonna come up?
Me?
It's like, oh well.
Us. Yep.
Should we get the DJ company name Best Day Ever because we just said Best Day Ever?
Yep.
Let's have the best day ever.
I would. I don't even need to shamelessly plug it anymore. You just did it for me at least 5 or 6 times. This
I mean, yeah, that's easy marketing right there. It's like, you
absolutely.
know, so yeah, it's all about, you know, I talk to so many people at those wedding shows, and wedding shows don't happen anymore.
Right.
It's crazy to me.
Yeah.
It's crazy to me because, like, you know, there's the internet, there's Facebook, there's Instagram. People will find everything. I mean, see people drop posts on like, hey, recommend me a DJ, and within 5 minutes, there's like 150 posts.
Oh my goodness. I don't even go on those anymore. I can't get to them fast enough.
It's hard. By the time you're the 150th post, I'm like, all right, they're not going to look at this.
Right.
You know, I'll send messages directly too and stuff like that to like try to get it. But one thing I do love about those posts and goes back to what we were just talking about, when I see a DJ being asked for, a photographer, a videographer, a planner, and I just see the lists and I see our name 6 or 7 times. I see your name 6 or 7 times for DJs. I see, you know, again, some of the people that like we work with closely, and you see it and it's just like, cool. People know.
Yeah, people know. Right.
And that's good. And that's good. And like, I felt it a lot in the last few years. Like, you know, people will refer us out, and word of mouth is a thing. It's crazy.
It really is a thing.
Yeah,
there
man.
are so many different ways to go about marketing yourself.
Correct.
Obviously, social media is probably one of the best ones.
Correct.
As long as you stay relevant and you know, fresh on Facebook, Instagram.
That's a good topic.
You know, whatever those are.
That's a good topic.
That's how people are out there searching right now.
Correct.
You know, I mean, I search Google when I'm looking for something. I don't go to Facebook, and it's probably because I'm old. But the newer couples, they go to the social medias first. So, you know, a lot of people that have websites, a lot of companies have websites. It's a real big thing in actually the DJ community right now that they're discussing, do you have a website? Do you need a website?
Do you?
I want to say that I'm not sure. So our website right now, again, is under construction. I like the fact of having one, but doing the analytics over, let's say, the past 5 years, just 5 years that we've been best day ever.
Yeah.
A majority of our inquiries come from our website. So somebody goes to our website, they fill out the form, it comes to our email, we reply to it. That's where a majority of our inquiries come from. A majority of our bookings come from Facebook.
Correct.
And come from Instagram, come from word of mouth from vendors and venues.
Same.
Just looking at it, just the big picture looking at it. And, you know, I mean, there's, just for instance, real quick, there is a young lady who got engaged 48 hours ago. She has been to 6 weddings that we have done.
Wow.
Do you think there's even a chance that she's not going to call us?
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
she's been to 6 different weddings that we've been to, and these have been weddings all around. So in Stewart, in Jacksonville, over in BFE on the West Coast. She went to the one in Ohio. I mean, she's been to all of the weddings that we've gone to.
Wow.
Right? So, and we're friends. We're friends on Facebook. It's not, we were friends at the wedding. Like, she knows us. She comes up and talks to us. It's not one of those things where, like, I have to press this. It's one of those things like, just waiting for the phone call. I know she wants the best day ever.
I mean, referrals are the best. And what you just said, like, you know, somebody that's when you're working and you see those couples out there that you've worked their wedding, and like, I'm not trying to sound corny or anything. That is, you know, one of the, it's a core memory. Their wedding day is a core memory. And like, you know, and when you see them and you're like, see, I remember all my weddings. At least I try to, you know, I'll have 8 years ago, I might have some trouble remembering, but, I remember the people at the weddings and stuff. A few of my weddings coming up are referrals from couples.
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
I did their weddings, and I love it. And they're going to be
it's like the biggest compliment too.
Yes.
Like, I like when we get, you know, new inquiries, new brides and stuff, people that don't know us, so that we can give them the opportunity to go and look at our socials and see what we do, and then hire us for your wedding and feel what we can do.
Correct.
I love that. But the return couples, those are, especially if you have done multiple weddings, you always know that those are going to be good ones.
Correct.
Like when this girl hires us, and I know she's going to.
Yeah.
I know she's going to.
Oh, yeah.
She hasn't yet. She's only been engaged for 2 days, but I know she's going to. When we go to this wedding, it's going to be an all-out show. Like, we know what type of party they party to because she's been to 6 of our weddings.
Well, that's great. I mean, I think the best part of a wedding is, you know, you get married, you kiss, you celebrate, and that's fun, and that's a core memory.
Right.
But the party's a core memory too.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's insane. I mean, the wedding we worked in the Keys.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, you know, I'll disclose some things here that don't happen anywhere else, and believe me, they don't. And they were actually brought up in our first podcast with Megan, the Crowleys. And I've worked 2 weddings in their family, and they're amazing people. Yeah. They're so much fun.
And so much fun. Like, you have to put an exclamation point on the so much fun part.
I'll never forget at that wedding when, by mistake, because we all make mistakes and everything, you guys, you played the Sweet Caroline song at the start of the reception, really, but not really. And
somewhere dinner sing along.
Yeah, and it's their favorite song. It's just, you know, the wedding that I've been, they sing it so many times. And Caitlin, I heard her from across the room, but in a funny way, right? She didn't care. She, like, you know, she's like, not yet. And
they were ready, but they weren't ready.
I have that in video, and it was just funny. Yeah. It was just funny. But the best part of that day was that we did our job. We were there to the end. We stayed there. We partied, and they came up to us and allowed us to have a drink. Yeah. And I remember that our drink of choice was the Blue Yard. Yeah. Remember that?
Yeah, the big tall one.
And by the end of the night after the wedding, I'm pretty sure we were drinking them with the bride and the groom.
Absolutely.
So, good parties, good times. Again, best day ever. They do it best, and I go
back and look at that video I think it was a reel that you posted.
Oh, the one with you on the.
Yeah. Oh my
yeah.
God, it was
That's
such a great
good
wedding.
shot.
It was such a great wedding.
Yeah, and that shot.
And they had all the things too, the clouds and the sparks and
Yeah.
the yeah.
In the podcast video, that video will be right here.
Yep.
Just so you know, I'm gonna put that clip of Nick right here so everybody can see it. It's a great clip, and I use it in a lot of marketing stuff just because you allow me to. So thank you.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I did a video for you guys too, didn't I?
Absolutely. I think you've done like 2 of them.
Yeah,
They're on our Facebook somewhere.
right here.
Yeah,
Somewhere right here.
they're somewhere on there.
Okay,
They're
yeah,
somewhere.
no, I do know I did a video for you guys a while back with a few of the weddings we did, and
Yeah,
those are fun.
It was like a
videos.
short clip video, and then
Correct.
you did another one with brides. You did
Yeah.
one, I think it was for venues.
I
where
think it
venues
was-
that we had worked together, and then there was one with brides. There was
Yeah, I think it was
where
a
I saw the
marketing
brides.
thing I did that. Like I had videos, and it wasn't directly for BDE, but you were in the video.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it
yeah.
was like a bunch of different things on like just marketing
Correct.
stuff and
Yes.
everything
Yeah.
like that.
And then you did one for us.
One of the biggest things in our industry and that people don't probably realize is just to give them some insight on behind the scenes on like what we do, how we get clients, whether it be weddings or commercial, this doesn't matter.
Right.
Going back to what we just said, right? Like when you put a post up in South Florida weddings group or a commercial group, I need a videographer, I need a DJ, and within seconds it's like hundreds and hundreds of people. And like we were just talking about, who are these people? Like, I like to think that I know a lot of these people that are
Right.
in my industry as friends, competition, whatever you want to call it. But I'm like, who are these people?
Right.
So I
It's
think
such a big reach.
it is. It's crazy. And it's awesome to see that the industry has grown that much.
Right.
But there's a lot of like, in video at least, for example, now it's not just the videographer. And I don't know if you know this. Maybe you've worked with somebody that does this or doesn't. I'll make behind the scenes content. You've seen my stuff showing people what we do, like the behind the scenes and what it looks afterwards and everything. There is something now called content creators.
Yeah.
Okay. And
New to the scene.
power to you. I mean, I've seen some of you, you're good and everything, but content creators are now being offered for weddings. And what's your thought on that? First of all, what do you think they film with?
So they film with their phones. I've actually had
Correct.
a couple at weddings where they filmed with their phones. Now, these couples have spent the money not only on a photography team. There's multiple photographers at their wedding. There's multiple videographers at their wedding. And then there is this person who is dressed as a guest, and you wouldn't know they weren't a guest except they have their phone out all the time and they're following around. The very first time I saw one, I didn't know what they were doing. I wanted to ask the lady, I'm like, hey, sit, let the pros handle that. Move out the way. But I didn't say nothing to her, and come to find out, she was a content creator, had no clue.
Now, here's a question. Was she a content creator for the bride and groom, or was she a content creator for the photographer, the videographer, for whoever it might have been?
I do not know. It was so new the very first time I saw somebody doing it. I didn't know who she was, who she worked for, if she was working for herself, if she was working for the couple. I had no clue.
Well, just to put it in context to you, something that is happening nowadays, in my industry at least, in the videography world, is people are considering now only content creators because of social media, because of all the trends that you see online, the bibbity bobbity boop and all this stuff that you see, which is awesome.
Right.
So great. But they're hiring content creators over videographers. And I see this a lot in these posts. And I'm like, well, I'm a content creator that, will make all the videos and follow you around and give you all the footage and make some reels for you and everything. And I'm like, wow.
Feels like is the industry changing so much that they just want short little videos, short little reels, and they don't want to capture, like we spoke about, like the core memories to be able to go back and look at the entire video of a day.
I think that's what's happening. I truly do believe, and the reason I believe there's so many videographers in the world, filmmakers, everything, like, I follow some of these pages that have millions of followers and all these things, and some of them only make videos with their phones.
Yeah.
And listen, I can make videos with my phone and everything. I just think about the quality and technology, phones, 4K cameras, all these things like that you can do on a phone that is amazing. And you'll see comparisons of like, my cameras, my Sony A7S IIIs versus iPhone 15.
Yeah.
So it's a hard, very proud of the technology and everything, but it's a hard pill to swallow because I'm sitting here now competing with my cameras that are worth thousands of dollars to a phone.
Right.
So I've been battling that. I've been battling that with other clients. I'm like, why a content creator and why not a videographer? And if you want those reels and everything, you just speak that with the videographer.
Yeah, exactly.
And we can get that for you in a higher quality format.
Right.
Right. But no.
I think it comes down to, again, when you're talking about a particular clientele, I want to say that budget may be in
100%.
there, but I don't know if it's the first thing. I think the first thing is social media.
Sure.
Can I get it on social media? How fast can I get it on social media?
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? And, with the ability to go back and look at reels, save photos, things come up in memories. It's not something that I have to watch. I don't have to pop in a DVD. I don't have to,
I think it has primarily everything to do with budget.
Absolutely.
If I'm gonna go ahead and say it, because I don't know what content creators charge for weddings.
Right.
I know they're out there and I know they're being offered, but I know they don't charge what I do.
Right.
I know there's no chance that you can charge what I do with a phone.
Right.
And again, it's just I try to guide people that have approached me with that, or that I see everything is like, hey, a content creator is completely different than a videographer. And that was my whole point of this conversation and this whole thing, is that I'm trying to get the input on wedding professionals.
Yeah.
On to give the difference that they see. It's like, right, with us, I mean, you've seen our videos. A lot of people have seen our videos. It's about telling the story, right? It's not about a reel.
Right.
We make reels, and they're all over my Instagram, about a clip that we'll select or everything. This isn't anything that the couples have told me. I just do it, and for me, for them, and they'll share whatever it is. But the goal of videography is capturing your day, your core memory.
Core memory entire day.
And that's what I'm trying to just evaluate and keep going and seeing all these things online. It's like, how do I politely say that a content creator isn't capturing your day?
Well, I think it's about education, right?
Correct.
It's about education. It's
Correct.
about getting our couples and getting our clients and getting the people that we're trying to reach to understand the need for full length, the need
Correct.
for quality.
Yep.
The need for not so much just these quick little blurbs that you can just put up on social media. Like we said, social media is a big thing, but we also need to be able to educate our couples on why you want this, why you need this over this.
Correct.
This is the new thing. It's great. It's cool. It's, but I mean, it's something that you can offer as well. Why not have the best of both worlds? Why not make it the best day ever? Sorry.
That's a good one. That's a really good one. I mean, again, I think it's budget conscious. I also, I blame the economy a lot right now, to what's going on in the industry, that I know it's not only happening to me, it's happening to everybody.
To everybody, yeah.
Everybody's looking for a deal. Everybody's on a very strict budget. I'm still booking weddings. I still have clients and stuff, but it's not the boom. It's not COVID anymore. The COVID era that happened, that it was like everybody was just saturated with business, which I loved.
Right. It was great.
But it's all settled down now. And the economy, I mean, we have elections this year, and we're not going to talk about any of that. But.
Right. Well, I feel like the content creator is in your field. I feel like that's something that's
it's a barrier.
I feel like it's not competitive because I know what you offer, and I know what a phone can do as well.
Sure.
But looking at it from our side, you would think that, well, the DJ is safe, right? We don't have any competition. So there's this thing called AI.
Yes, there is.
Where people are using that. In a lot of the DJ groups that we follow, a lot of the DJs are talking about being replaced by AI, because now you can go on and make your own mixes.
I never thought about that.
Yeah, it's brand new.
In the DJ world, I never thought about it. In the photo video world,
yeah.
But wow.
Yeah, it's brand new.
It's crazy. I mean, but again, right? It's a content creator, videographer thing. Cool. You can have AI, call it Spotify, whatever it is, right? Play your songs for the wedding. But it's just night and day.
There's no feeling involved in that.
Correct. Well, there's nobody on a microphone.
Nothing.
What are you going to have, the AI Siri voice saying, let's go? Here comes the bride and groom. Just doesn't make sense. I think it's a lot of common sense. Technology is awesome and technology is great. AI, don't even get me started.
Well, it can't read the room.
No.
From a DJ's perspective, it can't read it, at least not yet. That's one of those things that they're talking about. It's like, DJs were safe as far as having somebody replace us.
No, nobody's safe.
But nobody's safe.
Nobody is safe.
There's nobody safe.
I mean, I think photographers can relate to this the most. And, in photography, and I don't know if you did photography, and obviously you said that the trends were just not even there back in the day, just because it wasn't possible.
Right.
But today and age, I know so many photographers that will deliver, I know the ones that edit their pictures one by one, and that's awesome.
Right.
But I also know the ones that take the pictures, send them out, AI,
and has them sent right back.
Yeah. And I think that takes away from the art of it, being the artist.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. And especially from a photographer's point of view. Especially.
But it is also very time efficient.
Yeah.
I do understand that too, because it's not only about AI. It's you can create profiles that are based on your look. Like, you tell the AI system, and I don't know this, right, for a fact. Like, I know I've read online already. Create profiles. This is how I shoot pictures. You show them the pictures and everything, and then everything looks like that.
Yeah,
It's insane.
I haven't delved into too much of it. Like, I know about ChatGPT. Never used it, never seen it, never, but I hear people talking about it. I mean, one of the conversations that we were just at, they were talking about, using ChatGPT to write the intro to, an event or something.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, and it's crazy because I use ChatGPT all the time. But I've even seen flaws in that, right? Like, if you're using ChatGPT to write a contract, for example, like, you can tell it, hey, I need a contract for this amount, for this service, for this client. And in the next 10 seconds, you have a full contract.
Right.
But then if you use that contract for another client because it's such a good contract, you best make sure you read that.
Right.
Because, like, that's the thing with AI, like, right? If you don't tell it, you're going to look like an idiot.
Well, again, it comes back down to, like, I feel like it comes back down to education.
Yes.
It comes back down to education. Like, if you're using a bunch of AI, and regardless of whatever you're using it for, you're taking out the personal touch. Immediately, it's gone.
Yeah.
You have to do less work, but then is it as meaningful if you've had, it touched by artificial intelligence?
Correct. I agree.
And I want to say that, in the times that we're living in, with the technology progressing as fast as it does, a lot of couples and a lot of clients are looking that route because of the generation that they've grown up in.
Correct. So that's such a good way of putting it. It's generational.
It's
Here's that word again.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
Like, it's I'm not going to say a lot about it, but, like, easy work is the difference between generations. Like, hard work and easy work is the way I differentiate it.
Right.
Right. We are hard workers, however you look at it, at whatever we do. And I've come to find that the new generation, the younger generation, is all about, how can I become rich the easiest way? Which is a great mindset, right?
Great,
like,
yeah.
But you got to work a little bit.
You got to be a one percenter for that.
Correct, man. Correct.
So that just doesn't happen.
That's just the best way of putting that. And I think one of the things you were talking about, which is on topic, being personal, and, like, it takes that personality away from it. Social media. We know all the photographers, all the videographers, all the DJs, everything, and some are more active on social media than others,
right?
Myself included.
Yeah.
Right. It's a job.
Yeah,
it's a job doing it, and it's hard to keep up and put a story and everything.
Yeah.
I haven't even remembered to put my phone up to put a story of us doing this right now.
Of doing this, yeah.
Because, I mean, there's so much going on.
There's so much going on, yeah.
Right? But then there's the people that are just, which is crazy. I'm like, I always want to ask. I'm like, how do you do that?
How do you have
the time
to find the time in your day, in your
while
regular day?
Working,
like, don't you have to live too?
Well, while they're doing shoots too is my crazy part. I'm like,
right.
How'd you just do that so quick? And I know it's easy to, like, just say your post, but it's not just that.
Right.
It's like, there's a song and there's a little caption and there's, like, an emoji or whatever the fuck it is, something like that. But
I've seen that. I've actually seen it in action and thought the same exact thought. Like, how did you do that? They're out here doing family photos, doing formal
Which
photos,
is awesome.
and then all of a sudden the camera is up and they do something real quick. They put it down, and then they're back to doing it. I'm like, wow.
Do you think that puts pressure on somebody to deliver quicker? Or what's your thought on that? Because, like, the way I look at it too, it's like,
I feel like you don't have to deliver as quick if you have a secondary, So I don't have to. I just took this photo, for instance. I don't have to deliver this photo as quick as you would think that I would, because I've given you this photo immediately in a little reel with a little song with a little caption.
Sure.
I've given you a taste.
Sure.
You've gotten a little taste of it.
So like a trailer, you mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, gotcha.
Something really small.
Yeah, I mean, I just,
just to keep your attention.
Social media is, it's everything these days.
I think that's where it is too. It's attention. It has a lot to do with attention span.
It's attention span. It's sometimes I see all the little things on the top if I'm scrolling through a story. I'm like, no, I'm not doing this.
Right.
And I'll just swipe. It's like I can't watch all this.
Right.
You know, and some people.
And then when you think about it, a reel is how long when it's up on somebody's story? 20 seconds?
Well,
10
it
seconds?
just depends, right? Like, you know, the big, it's hard to judge, man. That's why there's a hook you have to have, and there's something that like you got to capture people's attention in 3 seconds,
Right.
probably less,
Right.
Probably, which is crazy because
crazy.
we can literally sit here and bang, that was 1 second.
Yeah.
It's like, and if I didn't get your attention, if I don't look good
They
or
swiped.
whatever is on the screen, it doesn't look good, and I won't look good. People are not going to watch a video because it's me.
Yeah.
You know, I hope you do. But yeah, it's to me, the whole concept of posting 30, 40 stories a day is great and everything, but I just want to know how they do it. Honestly, it's my main thing. And like, you know, and aside from that, it's not just work. It's about life. And I try to do the same too. I post my kids, you know, I post my family, my wife, everything, but how the fuck do you do it?
I think I'm just outside that. So I'm a little bit older than you. I think
Sure.
I'm just outside that. Like on the very cusp of being a
Yeah.
millennial. I'm like on the very end of Gen X.
Yeah.
And though I feel like I'm really good with technology,
Yeah.
I don't have the time for that.
Hell no. Even when I'm working.
Yeah.
Even I've tried, man. I've tried doing like, hey, let's take you through a day with me. And like, I'm like, I'll edit it when I get home tonight. First, I'm tired.
Right.
Second, you know, I'm like, I'll do it the next day. And then the
Right.
next day, I'm tired too.
Right.
You know, and I don't do it. And then 3 days go by, and then I felt like that just became irrelevant.
Right, because I have something else to do. So what I was
Correct.
thinking about doing 2-3 days ago, I no longer can do because
Correct.
now it's something new that I have to do.
And I know people are going to tell me social media managers or somebody that can do my Facebook and everything. And I've had that, and they're great and everything. But at the same time, I feel that it doesn't portray
You,
correct.
because you didn't do it.
Correct,
Yeah.
correct. And that's a big part of it, man. It's I show myself in a certain way, and I'm not super. Yeah, I'm about Ayala Films. I wear the hats, I wear the shirts. My whole office has Ayala Films everywhere. But I'd rather people see me. And lately, I've been doing that. I've been getting more towards talking and like showing my face and everything because
Right.
before I wasn't. So, and it's kind of worked, I guess. I don't know. So, I mean, we're doing this.
I mean, as long as you're comfortable with it, as long as
Exactly.
you know, I feel like branching out into different aspects, but still keeping it, you know, relevant to what you actually do.
Correct.
As
Yeah.
long as you're comfortable with it and you feel like, you know, you're going to reach a certain audience with it, man, go for it.
So yeah, so you know, social media. God, if you tell me how you do it, guys, please. If you the people that post every
Please.
day, please show us the way. If there is something that I need to know that I don't, please just send me a message. Let me know. So
I want to say that message is going to come to you, and I want to say you're going to get 2 things. You're going to get AI.
yes,
That's what you're going to get. You're going to get AI, or you're going to get social media manager.
correct.
That's obviously how they're doing. I mean, if they're
Correct.
doing personal reels on their own phone, then
Yeah.
we want to know that too. We want to know how you're doing that. There is a young lady that I follow. I love her. I've never seen that many reels.
Really,
Oh my God. She'll be in her car just talking, just going on, just going on, just going on. To
and
where,
there's so many of those.
and there's so many of them.
so many of those.
And you know, when you look at it, you're like, oh, you're in for a story. Like you want to grab a bag of popcorn because
Mm-hmm.
you look at the top and you see all the little dashes of how many stories there are. And I'm like, oh, this is going to be a minute.
You know who I like to give props to, and this is obviously nobody we know or anything, but it's the kid YouTube millionaires and
Oh.
their parents,
Yeah.
because we know that wasn't the kid's idea.
No,
That wasn't Ryan's idea at 1 year old.
absolutely not.
You know, my kids watch it sometimes, and like I'll sit there and watch it, and the kid's older now. Like he's much older. Like, you know, he's a teenager,
Right.
still doing it.
Really?
Yes.
But not with the, I mean, it's not targeting the same.
It's evolved. I mean, he has sisters and stuff, but aside the fact, it's not just him, right? There is tons
of them.
of kids and everything. And like I always like I sit there as a parent and everything. I'm like, why didn't I do this? Right? It's
Right.
like, you know, like it's amazing what they've done and like super cool, man. I mean, these parents have secured their kids' future.
I think it's not too late. There is a young lady that I watch on Instagram. Her reels come across. I can't. I wish I knew who it was, but she has. And I was actually telling Megan about this. I was actually telling your wife about this. She has in the bathroom one of those old style '80s mirrors that has the center mirror and the 2 sides
I've
come
seen
out.
this.
Have
The
you
girl
seen
that
it?
sings.
The girl that sings.
That is so good.
Right?
So good.
So-
if I find it, I will put it in here.
So I was looking at them, and of course now my algorithm is set to that, so I see hers quite often.
Of course.
I have one of those in my house. My daughter has one in her bathroom. It's the oldest, ugliest 1978 81 type mirror. And the very first thing I was like, man, my daughter could be a millionaire. I could do exactly that with that mirror. You know what I'm saying?
And all of that is filmed with the phone.
And all of it's filmed with the phone.
Which is, the viral trends and all these things. So you see so many of them.
Right.
Some of the stuff I see on the internet, and I'm like, oh, man.
Well, social media's reach is so, okay, let's put it this way. Since 2020, and this may just be me, it may just be us, it may not be any other vendor. Right before 2020 happened, as far as like personal interviews went, meeting with a client, that's what we did.
It's not a thing anymore.
Is it not for you guys either?
No.
I can't tell you the last time I actually met a couple.
It's been a minute.
Before they booked us. It was, we saw you on Facebook, or excuse me, we read your reviews on Facebook. Mm-hmm. We saw videos of you on Instagram.
We Googled you.
And we want you.
Correct.
And like social media's reaches, it's...
And then when do you meet them?
Day of.
Correct.
Day of. I know everything about them prior, but as far as, putting face to face, we might do a Google Meet or a Zoom call or something.
I encourage that, actually. Yeah. Always great doing those, but Zoom. Always.
Yeah.
Phone calls, emails. It's been a hot minute since I've actually met a couple before their wedding day.
Right.
Right? But I encourage it.
And I used to love that. And again, I think it's a generational thing. Some of my couples that are, older millennials, they don't mind meeting.
Correct. I prefer to meet.
The newer, I don't even know what generation we're in now. Z? A? X?
Z, I think.
XY?
I
Whatever.
think Z, yeah.
Whatever
I don't even know, man. I have no idea. At this point, I'm just work hard, make money.
They all
raise
do
kids.
it over social media.
Correct.
They all do it over social media. And you have to have all the platforms too.
Yeah.
If you don't have all the platforms, you're missing out on an audience of some sort.
I have Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube.
Right.
I cut it out at that.
We have Facebook, Instagram. That's what we have.
Yeah, it's hard. Like, again, it goes down to that time consumption thing. Like, how do you do it? And you're doing it everywhere.
Right.
Now, I know there's apps that post for you. Like, you post a video and, like, post it everywhere and everything.
Right.
But from what I've heard, that the algorithm knows that, and, like, it won't, there's so many things, man. It's like the algorithm is just so many different things that, like, I understand and, like, try to figure it out. On one day it's more views than another day. Like, it's crazy. Right. And, like, again, social media managers that do it very well, and I know a bunch of them, props to you and everything. It's just...
I try not to look at the analytics when I pull up our business page and stuff like that, and look at our post reach and stuff like that. Like, a lot of those numbers, when I'm looking at that confuses me. I'm looking at them like, what does that mean bottom line for me? Well, I need to know what it means bottom line for me. And if it doesn't affect my ability to get bookings, and it doesn't affect the quality and professionalism that I bring to an event, then
correct. I agree.
I know I need it because of social media.
Yeah.
But
I know that when I post this on social media, Nick is going to get a lot of calls. So that's all I'm saying. One of the main questions I probably always get, or sometimes the things that I wonder, and just shows you my mind where it is as a business owner, is the process of how vendors are booked. I've posted a video about this before. I've talked about it and what my opinion is. What do you think? What do you think is the process of a bride when she gets engaged and then she's going to book? What does she book first, and what the process is?
Well, let's go back generational before we do that. You're married.
Yes.
Tell me what you did. What did you guys do first? So, like, after the whole, hey, we're engaged, and those photos came up, and now it's time to actually start planning. What did you and Megan do?
So, first thing, obviously, for us, being the budget that we had, and we went way over budget. Everybody knows my wife. We went way over budget. And sorry, Megan.
Sorry, Megan.
Yeah, but the venue was the first thing. I remember we initially tried to get married, like, down south. We went Pembroke Pines. We went to a bunch of different hotels down there. And then, we found the Marriott where we got married at.
Right.
So that was the first decision. And then we went.
So first thing in your mind was venue. Got to find
venue. Yeah. I felt like, without a location, you don't have a wedding. So, and I do feel that is the mindset of most brides. Let's find the spot. Let's find everything. What comes with that, right, is what the venue offers you and what you pay for with the venue, which is an array of options, right?
Food and beverage. Planners, which is a topic that we will talk about in a second. Photographers, videographers, DJs, florists. There's so many things you don't even think about. Right.
And it's a big eye opener for you couples that are just got engaged. there's so much more to think about than just the venue, right?
Right.
So what comes after the venue? I think we went photographer after the venue.
Okay.
So, and then, we didn't have a budget for video. It wasn't our thing to, and at the time, 10 years ago, video wasn't as big as it is now.
Correct.
Which, we discussed, which
Right.
is, shows the change of the technology, the times and everything. And then we went DJ.
Okay.
And then we went DJ. So at that point, the florals, I'm pretty sure came with the Marriott, and it was a package deal and everything. And it came with a planner.
So it took a little stress off you of having to choose everything individually.
Correct. Yes.
So when you chose your photographer and when you chose your DJ, did you choose somebody? Was it in your mind that you had somebody already? Or did you choose somebody that was local to that area?
We chose somebody that was local. And again, I think the times are different even 10 years ago, which doesn't seem that long ago.
Right.
Facebook was a thing. Instagram was a thing. But we didn't know about wedding groups. Again, we're wedding vendors now. So the things we know now. Correct. Compared to back then, I was like, fuck.
Would you change anything?
I wouldn't change our day for anything. Like,
right.
We loved our day and everything. But would I have had a videographer? Probably. Would I have picked a different photographer? Most likely. Yeah. We loved our DJ. He was a fun time. Our florist, the venue, and we can say this because she's our next guest. Lindsay worked at the Marriott at the time. So her and Candace were our planners.
Oh, so,
nice. But again, 10 years ago, we didn't know what their company...
A lot different than now.
Correct. What they would be today and how great they are. So in our mindset, it was venue. It has the planners. We don't need to book a planner.
Right.
Personally, with planners, I think that has to do a lot with budgets. So my order and what I think the process today is, if you have a big budget, planner first, right? And I encourage it, even if you can put it in there, like get a planner because it helps you so much to whatever your budget is. Like day of, they offer day of, month of, full coverage.
Scale.
I'm not a planner, so I just speak on those things I know. After the planner, if you have the budget, venue. So that's either going to be first or second. Then I feel today and age, photographer, then videographer or DJ. Okay. So I think videographer and DJs are always left last, even though they're very important.
Right.
And there's many reasons I say it, but what are your thoughts?
So I think normally when I speak to clients, when we have an inquiry, I feel from our perspective, from the entertainment perspective, I feel like we're last. I feel like speaking to the brides, once they give us the information in the initial inquiry form, I feel like they have most things because they mention it in the inquiry form. So I'll say, they'll get it, our inquiry form. It says, "How'd you hear about us? What's your date? The basic questions."
Yeah.
And a lot of them will go above and beyond and put that in there. "Oh, we heard about you from our planner," or "We heard about you from our florist," or "We heard about you from," again, with the whole word of mouth thing,
Correct.
So I feel like a lot of that, they're not coming to us first. Very rarely do we receive an inquiry that says, "Hey, we're looking for a DJ for our wedding."
Yeah.
It's mostly we've been referred, and I know that they already have that person booked.
Gotcha. So my opinion on us being last, because essentially I think it's a flip-flop on videography or DJ. If couple doesn't want videography, then that automatically puts DJ last.
Yeah. Okay. Makes sense.
So the way I look at it is, why do I think these things are important? And I'll speak in the terms of me being a wedding vendor and you being an event group DJ, MC.
Okay.
I have worked, I can't even tell you how many weddings I've worked in my career. But the one thing I have noticed is that if the DJ is not good, and I'll put it in perspective, let's talk about the reception entrances.
Yeah.
There's a big dilemma on the internet right now on if reception entrances are important or not. I think they are. I think they're fun. I think it's a big mood starter to the reception. Everybody just sat down. Right. Let's introduce everybody. The thing on the internet is saying that you should only introduce the bride and the groom, which I have worked weddings like that. But if you have a big bridal party, give them their 5 seconds to shine and let them start the party. Some people do crazy things.
Right.
But again, I think all of that, and 90% of weddings will have those entrances, is depending on the DJ and MC.
Yeah.
The DJ is playing the song that is provided by the bride and groom, but I have worked endless amount of weddings that the DJ is just not good, and it ruins that moment.
Now, when you say DJ not good, and again, this goes back to different companies and different styles.
Sure.
So the the aspect that you're looking at is your DJ, your MC.
MC. That's what I'm saying.
But I'm saying is your DJ, your MC.
A lot of times it is.
Okay.
A lot of times it is. And I feel like it's such an important factor because I feel like the MC controls the crowd.
Right.
The MC controls the crowd in the sense of how lit it's going to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or sometimes you just don't have a choice and it's not going to be lit.
Right.
You know, but that's not the DJ's fault at that point.
Correct. Right.
But it sets the mood. So correct me if I'm wrong.
No, absolutely. I want to say that there is a disconnect between some of the companies that offer DJ and MC services than booking a company that has a dedicated DJ and a dedicated MC.
Gotcha. Okay.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's where I'm going with that. So again, like you said, the MC is essentially not only your master of ceremonies, but also your hype man.
Correct.
You know, your DJ is focused on the music and getting that right. And when you have a company as mine is, when you work so well with the DJ, you know, it's just the flow is just so different.
Correct.
But again, a lot with like a lot of the trends that we're going through with people cutting out the entrances, they're cutting out the cake, they're not doing a lot of the formalities anymore,
which is crazy, isn't it?
Which is crazy.
I mean, I don't want to say weddings are dying out because they're not. People still get married, and I think it's again a core memory and something that is very important in a relationship. Right. To a lot of people.
Right.
But to a lot of people, it's not.
I feel like the memory of it is something that they want to hold on to. Correct. But how can we cut out as much of it as we can so that we just get the memory that we want?
Correct. Yeah. And I think, I always give my advice and recommendations to couples on what to do on wedding day or how to do it or, what tradition, every family has different traditions too. So,
absolutely.
It's so you can't battle that, but, make as many memories as you can.
Right.
That's just the way I look at it.
It happens one time. I mean, unless you get married again.
So,
but then you get two parties and let's do it again.
So the importance of a DJ, I can't tell you enough. Booking a good DJ, now this could be best day ever. This could be any company. Like when booking a DJ, I personally think, and correct me if I'm wrong, that when you're on the phone with the DJ, you should feel that DJ's vibe.
Absolutely.
You should definitely if a person is quiet, and don't get me wrong, some people are quiet and will surprise me in public.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
Like because it happens.
Yeah.
Right. I used to be a very, very quiet person.
Right.
When I first moved to Florida, I was very. I don't know how to say it. Like, I'm always able to make friends and relationships and everything, but I was very quiet. Right. Now I'm a very social person, very, just times change you.
Right. You don't want to say introvert because you liked people.
Correct.
It just was one of those things where you weren't essentially comfortable with giving everything to everybody at one time.
Correct.
Right?
So it's again, book a good DJ. It's super important, for your videos, not for your photos, for your core memories, for everything. But I want your thoughts on why video is last. Consider all these things. You watch social media,
right?
It's all videos. 95% of it.
Right. You would think that would be one of the first things that people chose.
And this is anywhere now. Anywhere. Any social media platform that you go on. I mean, think about TikTok. TikTok isn't about pictures.
Right. It's all
TikTok is videos.
All short videos.
Correct. Snapchat. It's mostly videos. I don't use Snapchat.
Right.
Instagram, mostly reels. All videos. If it's a reel, it's a video. If it's a photo on a reel, it's a video of a photo.
Oh, I've seen that.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Concept, it's still a video.
So that does put an interesting perspective on why people would choose videography as the last thing, considering that everything they put out for everybody to see is a video.
Correct.
And I want to say it tags back along the lines of how fast people can get it, what their attention span is when they click on it.
Correct.
And again, when we go back to the whole content creator thing, I mean, you would still think, and that's what we need to do as far as educating couples on where to put their budget. Again, everybody's budget is different. But when you're thinking about core memories, when you're thinking about wanting to remember something, you definitely want to do photography and videography. Like those should be at the very top of the list. You can get your venue. If it comes with a planner, cool. If it doesn't, maybe get a planner. Again, maybe planners are more of luxury offering.
Sure.
You know, they definitely take a lot of stress off your day.
100%.
I would definitely tell anybody, if you can afford a planner, get yourself a planner.
Correct.
It just makes it so much easier. And then photo and video.
Yep.
They're the only vendor, and I can say this and say it comfortably because I used to do both, that is with you from the moment you book them until, 4 to 6 weeks after.
I mean, we're with them. I mean, not only that, I think we're the only vendor, not even the planner, photo and video, right?
Right.
We're with them all day.
Yeah. But I'm saying from start to finish. So
Yep.
once you book, there's normally an engagement session of some sort.
For photo, yes.
Right?
Okay. You can do it for video. I've done it for video,
yeah.
Whatever Pixar.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
As far as from the moment you book them until day of, they are with you the entire day.
Correct.
You know,
Yep.
7-8 hours, and that's just the time that they're with you.
Correct.
That's not the time that they've actually had to travel to places and then travel back home. You know, so let's put a 10-hour day on
Yeah.
it, 10-12-hour day,
Yeah.
and then afterward, everything in post. You know, all the video editing, all the photography editing. They're the only vendor that's with you from the actual start to finish. So, speaking about it on entertainment, when we book a couple, we normally take our retainer, we save the date, and this might just be our company, but most of the time I don't have any kind of other interaction with our couple until right around a month prior.
That doesn't change much for video in
Yeah.
the sense, I like to think that weddings or anything, they're planned. The things that we need to know
Yeah.
will be known a month in advance.
Yeah.
So
We want to nail down all the details about a month in
correct.
advance. Yeah.
In order to reduce stress from a bride, because they are mostly all the time stressed about it.
Yeah.
We wait till a month to reach out again. Like, obviously they can contact us with any questions.
anytime, yeah,
and we
yeah.
tell them, like, hey, any traditions, anything that's important, anything that you think is important, because that's all that matters. Like, I know the traditions, but maybe you have a ring, you have a picture, something that, like, I don't know you have that.
Right.
Feel
And
free
you want
to
to do that.
Feel
Yeah.
free to let me know. Yes. But normally month and a half out, I'll reach out, go over things, and then 2 weeks out.
Yeah.
And then 2 weeks out, just the final. Again, this is depending on if they have a planner.
Right.
If they have a planner, it changes.
And for us, looking at it from the same aspect, about a month, about 2 weeks out, we sit down and we have final consultations. And the reason we let it go that long is because music is like technology, right?
Sure.
Every 2 months it changes.
Yeah.
So if you chose a song right now that you want for an intro song, there might be a hot new banger that
Correct.
comes out the week before your wedding. It's not been played at weddings and you want to do that. So that's why we wait as long as we do. But then day of, we come in, we rock the party, and then we'll get a review afterward, and then we really don't have any other kind of contact with our bride and groom, with the
Correct.
couple, or anything like that.
Yeah,
afterward.
you're done afterwards.
Right,
Yeah,
you're
correct.
done.
Yeah.
But that's why I think that videography is so important. Videography and photography, that's so important, because after the wedding is over and you go home,
Yeah.
your job has not stopped.
Well,
You still have a lot of work, a lot of hours to put into creating the art that is Ayala Films for your couples.
how do I say it? For me, filming is a lot of fun. It's like, it's the funnest part of the job.
Yeah.
Like, I love filming. I love capturing it and everything. And yes, it is a very important part, because without that, you can't make a video, right?
Right.
So it's essential that all the moments that are one chance to get.
One chance.
One chance. So we don't got a second chance.
There is no second chance. There's no editing videography.
Correct. But it's also very important to us to, normally we'll have contact with couples until 3 to 4 months after the wedding, right? Because we deliver our highlight video and then we deliver the feature films.
Right.
Feature films obviously take longer because they're just much longer, intricate videos, but we try to stay within that timeline, right? Like, we talk to our couples, we keep them informed, we let them know. I think that's very important. I think communicating, and if you're a photographer or videographer, communicating with your couples, and for the couples, it's important to see that on that phone call, right? On that Zoom call, on that phone call, on that meetup, whatever it is.
Yeah, to be able to feel it.
Feel comfortable.
Yep.
Feel, but the shitty part is that even if you do feel comfortable, I do know cases of people that
didn't get a good result.
Didn't get a good result. And that's not fun. Again, things happen in life. And I understand it, but always make sure, sometimes you get what you pay for.
Right.
I'm a big believer in you get what you pay for, and I feel like in the photo photo, video, and DJ industry, it's I've had many couples come up to me and tell me, that I've met them and everything, and they didn't book us, and no problem. I'm not mad at you.
Right.
But they got their product, they got everything, and we're still friends and everything. Like, I wish.
Damn.
Damn.
That's exactly what
Did you ever
happens.
watch wrestling?
Yeah.
Remember Ron Simmons?
Yeah.
Look at the camera and do it on 3. 1, 2, 3. Damn. So it's like, you know, what? That's what I don't understand about budgets. Like, if you know the saying, you get what you pay for, then why not splurge a little bit more?
I think two things should go hand in hand. I think your budget should go hand in hand, and I think your review should go hand in hand.
Sure. 100%.
100%. I think they should go hand in hand. If you can go on somebody's website, their Facebook, their Instagram, wherever they hold a majority of their reviews at, and you read those reviews. Now, this, of course, is after you've made some kind of interaction and felt their vibe.
Correct.
Okay,
yes.
so now I got your vibe. I feel like...
Because not all reviews are accurate.
Right. I feel like you would be the good person for me. Now let me go and do a little research on
Correct.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree. You know, and right, just couples in general. In general, just do your research, plan your budgets well. Normally, if you know, I like to think that we're fairly priced, just like you guys are, and like the photographers I wear, we're fairly priced for the product that we offer. Being asked for a budget price, or you know, what are the things we see on Facebook?
Oh my goodness! If we could just educate our couples, or just people in general, just looking to stay away from the word affordable. Affordable means something different to everybody else.
Correct.
Budget is the word that everybody uses because everybody has one. Yeah, but budget friendly, won't break the bank, doesn't cost an arm and a leg.
Correct.
I have never posted
How
anything.
much does an arm and a leg cost? It definitely costs more than $1,000.
Are we giving arms? Are we giving legs?
Well, but that's what I'm saying.
Earlobes?
Every time I see that, I look at it and I'm like, listen, I guarantee you an arm and a leg costs more than what I charge.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
I mean, there are people selling livers and stuff out on the internet right now, and you know, black market. I think you can get a liver for like 35
back
grand,
when I was
kidney or something like that.
Back in the days when I was younger and broke, don't think I didn't think about that.
Selling a testicle or something.
Correct.
I've seen that.
Yeah, it's crazy,
you never
man.
know.
I mean, you know, it's the world we live in. It's the thing we do. But just a brief conclusion on that topic. It's more so research, investigate, ask questions. Ask questions. I'm all about, like, you know, if you have questions and, like, you know, how we can make something fit you, not in terms of price,
right,
but in terms of like, hey, maybe you don't need this, and maybe we can lower the price for you for this, right. But I don't think people understand that.
And I'm along the lines of, once you get a good feel for somebody, I'm not saying ask for a discount, but I've definitely had couples where we've had so much interaction prior to it. Wasn't just a, hey, we want you as a DJ, here's your price, blah, 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 blah. I've had interaction with couples before we even spoke about price, and they're like, so cool. You know, I'll throw a discount just because I can.
Correct.
You know?
Correct.
I'm the business owner, and we've got a vibe. Like,
correct.
I know your wedding is going to be off the chain. You
There's
know what I'm saying?
so many things.
So many.
That, like, you could ask us that could offer you a discount, but the main thing for me is that. It's the vibe. I'm like, I like you, you like me, we get along. Like, on your day, you won't have an issue.
You won't have an issue.
Yeah. I won't have an issue.
There are weddings, and I probably shouldn't say this because then everybody's going to be calling saying, I want something for free. But there are weddings that I've done where I've taken my cost, you know, make sure you pay my DJ, but I've taken my cost completely off.
100%.
Because I know that I am going to have an awesome freaking time at your wedding. I just want to come to your wedding.
100%. 100%.
I just want to come to your wedding and be there for you on your day. I want to make it the best day ever.
There it is. There it is. So we're getting to the end of the podcast here very soon. You know, I like to ask my guests. You've seen a lot of my work, Nick. I've done commercial work, wedding work. I film funerals. I've done anything that involves a camera. And you know, we have this new venture, the podcast. Which, again, thank you so much for supporting it, coming on it. It's fucking amazing that you came on. I love our conversations. Right. What do you think of this podcast? And let me give you a brief of why we did this podcast and called it The Talking Cameras. You know, I've been showing my face more on the camera. Like I told you, it's a little bit more about letting people know who I am and how I speak. Right? Because I'm not saying I don't speak the same way at a wedding. Right. But there won't be an F-bomb that much. There won't be a shit here and there and all these things. This is who I am. This is, and I wanted to portray that, and we felt that the podcast was the best way to do it. Hence why Megan was the first guest. Right. If you watch or listen to that podcast, it's literally me and my wife conversating with each other. Yeah, just hanging out. Exactly, because, you know, we know everything about each other. We work together. We started that business together, and I think it's a great podcast. Yeah. But what do you think? What do you think of this podcast?
You know what? I was excited. I know it's taken us a while to get here, and it's with schedules. I mean, like we're telling people, you know, this is us, this is real, this is raw.
Yeah.
I want to say that I probably haven't cursed yet. I'm not a big cursor, but you know, I mean,
have.
if there was a couple drinks involved, you know, maybe something would happen. But
Next podcast we'll do it at nighttime and we can have a drink.
Yes.
There we go.
I think the ability for you to do this and be able to put out real experiences, raw experiences, and still keep it relevant to what you do for a living is a great thing.
Yes.
I think people being able to see us in the light of, again, real people. I am not just a professional that comes to your event.
Yep.
I do not just work for you.
Correct.
I have a real life.
Yep.
I have real problems.
Yep.
My homeowner's insurance is real high. You know,
Yes.
for people to be able to realize that, you know, we might be paying a premium for this particular videographer. We might be paying a premium for this particular DJ or event group. That's okay. We know what we're getting. We've done our research. We've read the reviews. We got a vibe for them. But at the same time, if people could just realize that we're real people too, like I have to pay my bills.
Yeah, man.
I want to come out and party with you. I
Yeah.
do, but I have to, you know, I have to pay my bills. And for you to be able to start a podcast in your He-Man shed here, love
Yes.
this.
This is a great shed. A lot of people
this.
love this shed.
I love this. And you know what? Podcasts are the thing, right? They're the thing.
They are right now. Yeah, man. I mean,
Yeah.
listen, look at the Kelseys, man. And like,
Oh my goodness.
listen, New Heights podcast. We're going to tag you. We're going to talk about you real quick.
Real quick.
You guys are awesome. I
So
watch
awesome.
football. I'm a Bears fan. Let's make this very clear.
I'm a
will
Bucks
not-
fan.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys, but
Sorry about that.
Yeah, but-
No, actually, you guys won a Super Bowl recently, so I don't even know why I would say that. But
listen, everybody's going to attribute it to Brady, and it wasn't. I mean, we had a pretty good team. The fact that we got Brady,
that was awesome. I mean, I thought that was awesome. I wanted Tampa to win that year, but the Kelseys, I look at them, man, and, you know, again, Taylor Swift was a big deal on that.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you know, Travis starting to date her, and I speak about Travis like I know him.
yeah,
But
he's our friend.
Yeah, correct. But what Travis Kelce and Jason Kelce have done on that podcast is, and I watch it and listen to it, they are relatable.
Correct.
They are millionaires
Yeah.
that are relatable.
Correct.
They just got paid $100 million.
Saw it on the news this morning, right before I came over to your house.
Correct. And hey, congrats to you guys.
Next
Seriously.
3 years, 100 million.
Yeah.
Love
Listen,
it.
tell me what to do.
Yeah.
Tell me what to do.
Get us there.
I didn't start this podcast to make money. I
Right.
really didn't. And, you know, I mean, we filmed 2 episodes in a month and a half. That's how long it's taken because schedules, you
Yeah.
know, time. It's hard to find the time to be able to sit here for a few hours and discuss.
And put things together. Yeah.
Correct. And
Yeah,
then and then the behind the scenes. I got to edit it.
Well, you know what I think is so great about the Kelsey's podcast, what I think is so great about, like you said, they're relatable.
Yeah.
So not only are they millionaires and don't have to worry about anything for the rest
all.
of their lives,
At all.
they still find time to get on here and talk about topics that people want to hear. you know?
Exactly.
We go back to the real, raw. They are millionaires, they are celebrities, but they're still real people.
Correct. 100%. And,
So
and,
cool.
and that's the whole goal here. The Talking Cameras is about being raw, about being real. If you're a guest, be yourself.
Yeah.
Talk about whatever you want. We're not going to judge. We don't point fingers. And, you know, I think we've done a good job of that.
Yeah.
You know, the first 2 episodes have been great. I can't thank you enough for coming on this show, man.
My
It's
guy.
been a pleasure
Thank
having you. Again, if you need a wedding DJ, an MC, an event DJ or MC, anything that you need and you want fun and you want to have, what is it?
The best day ever.
The best day ever. They are the people to hire. Again, close friends, even better professionals, and they're a good time. So again, thank you very much for coming.
Thank you,
I
bud.
look forward to showing you guys episode 2 of the Talking Cameras, and I'll let you guys know when the next can come out. Thank you very much.
Peace.